everyone, my name is Allie and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a spoilery review of the new book GEEKERELLA by Ashley Poston. If you haven't read it, I'll give you a brief synopsis and then I'll go into the further details for those of you who have. I think this was the Book Explosion of the Month book for May, if I'm not mistaken. That's not why I read it, I just thought it would be a really fun read and I was very excited to read it and I was not disappointed. Alright, so this book opens on our main character, Elle. She lives with her evil stepmother named Catherine and Catherine's daughters named Chloe and Calliope. Elle also has this obsession with this old show called Starfield, which is basically like Star Trek, but they exist in the same world. So it doesn't run anymore, she just watches reruns, but she's absolutely obsessed with it. She runs a blog for it, and they're making a remake as in the form of a movie. So they cast Federation Prince Carmenter, who's the main character of that show, and she is so unhappy with the casting choice because it's this actor named Darian Freeman from this teen soap that she absolutely hates. So she writes this blog about it, kind of hating on him and saying that he can't do it because he's a fake fan and that he'll ruin the movie. And then Darian sees this. So this book is told from dual POV. One is Elle and one is Darian. So Darian reads this blog and he's like, oh no, all these fans are gonna hate me, but they don't know that he's actually also a huge fan of Starfield, but he has to hide that because he doesn't want his image to be sort of like nerdy. So he hides the fact that he loves this show, even though he's playing the main character. And he loves this show so much, he used to go to Comic-Cons with one of his best friends, but he doesn't want to do that anymore, so he finds the number online to message the coordinators to say, I don't want to do the con anymore because his management is making him do it and he's trying to get out of it himself. But the number actually goes to Elle's cell phone because it's her dad's old cell phone and he started Excelsicon, so they start talking. Now they're texting each other and you can kind of imagine what goes on from there. That's all I'm going to say. I think you should just read the book. It's pretty straightforward because it's a retelling of Cinderella, but I loved the characters. I would give this book probably a 90%. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5 stars because it wasn't like the best book I've ever read, but it was so fun and nice, just refreshing and easy. I read it in one sitting in like 5 or 6 hours. It's honestly so easy to read and I really enjoyed all the nerd references. I'm such a huge geek for like Doctor Who and Star Trek and Star Wars, and literally I love anything to do with like nerd culture. So this was like a breath of fresh air for me. And also, if you haven't read the acknowledgements, read the acknowledgements because they are so good. I cried. I love reading acknowledgements at the end of books, and these acknowledgements were some of the best I've ever read. So that's just a little side note. If you haven't read the book, please go and read it and then come back and we will discuss because it was very good, very nerdy, and just light and fluffy, easy read. Alright, so I'm going to talk a bit about the characters first. Let's start with Elle. At first, I was kind of apprehensive because all she did was talk about Starfield for a little bit, and I was like, is there anything else you can talk about? And I know when you're a fan, that's also a huge part of your identity. I was a huge One Direction fan, and that's pretty much all I talked about from the ages of 15 to 17. But I still think there should have been a little bit more to her character in the beginning. As we go along though, I completely forgot about that because it was so endearing and sweet, and all of those nerd references in the writing just made me so happy. This book reminds me of a mix between Fangirl and This Is What Happy Looks Like by Huntley Fitzpatrick. I think the difference between Fangirl for me and this book was that Fangirl had much more developed characters and a much better writing style. I think Rainbow Rowell writes in a different way than Ashley Poston does, which is not a bad thing at all. I think Ashley Poston did such a good job and she had so many just like cute little quirky moments, and there's a couple quotes that I absolutely loved. There's little things like that, little like treats in this book that are so outside of what the main plot is that I really wish that she could have dug a little deeper. That's why Wednesdays is one of my favorite books. It was so on the surface of what it could have been, I found, but I am such trope trash that I don't care. I loved all the texting and the way that they talked, and I know that you can't fall in love with somebody from texting. That's the one thing I wish she didn't do. I wish she wasn't like, I'm in love with you. I wish she was like, I like you as a person, let's get to know each other. And then in the epilogue, you know, the like 8 months later, he could have been like, now I'm in love with you, you know? I don't think you can really fall in love with somebody over text message, but I do love a good trope. So I was not complaining in any way. I just wish there was a little bit below the surface. The other thing I want to talk about is Sage and Cal. Okay, I called this right from the beginning, right when they go to the food truck with the big group of friends and Chloe's kind of making fun of Elle and Cal's in the back like being all quiet and Sage was like peering over. I knew immediately, I was like, they're gonna date. Even before she told us she was a lesbian, I was like, they're gonna date, and I love them so much. I'm so happy that one of the twins turned out to be good, because now it means that Elle maybe has a chance at having a family, you know? Like she has Sage, she has Cal, and now she has Darian. Like I'm so happy with the way that that relationship formed. It just, oh, it was so cute. I also loved the ball and like the little like salute things. I think it's just this, or no, this. I love the salute, like everything about all the nerdy like cons and stuff. It's just so nostalgic and like comforting to me. It was like a nice like whew, like breath of fresh air. The one thing that I really hope for is a sequel. I think this has such good sequel potential, and just it doesn't have to be a retelling of anything. It just has to be a sequel of her in college with Darian kind of figuring out how to be together and figuring out herself when she doesn't have her family behind her back. Maybe I hope that she becomes like a runner of the con or something like that. Like I really want to see more of this world, and I think there's so much more to go off of. I think there's so much untapped potential that is in this book and in this world that she didn't get to. And I think if she did another book, Elle would be a little older and you could kind of get away from like the tropes and get more into the judgment of society on fans, and you could get more into their relationship and whether they actually are good for each other, because they've only met once, you know? Like this is a stereotypical YA book. Meet cute, meets once, falls in love, done. But I think at the end she left so much room for creativity, and I really hope there's a sequel. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to know who your favorite ship was, who your favorite character was, what was your least favorite thing about the book, and would you read a sequel if she wrote one? Because I certainly would. You can also find all of my social media links in the description below. I recommend that you follow me on Goodreads because I update that much more often than I do my YouTube channel, and I'm really sorry that I haven't been updating my YouTube channel. It was the end of finals, which means it was a very busy time, and I'm going between my parents' house and my house in Toronto because I'm moving back for the summer. So half of my stuff is there, half of my stuff is here. So it's been kind of a crazy time, but I will try to make more videos more frequently now that it is summer, and I can't wait to hear any more news about GEEKERELLA. I'm Allie, and thanks for watching.